All right, so Tableau has come out with a new version for 2020, and they haven't quite updated their getting started video yet. So there's an important piece right at the beginning where you need to tie together two different data sets with a join that works just a little bit differently, but it still works just the same. But I wanted to show that to you in case you got hung up on it at all. So to be clear, go ahead and download this Tableau getting started data set here. It's the same one that's on their website, by the way, so if you just click this link, they'll have it there as well. Just sign in if you haven't already. Okay, so this is, to be clear, a Tableau generated video, not mine. I think it's really well done. The script is incredibly fast. Oops. Okay, let me pause that real quick. Hold on. Whew, okay, there we go. So this nice lady is going to walk you through kind of a nice overview of the high-level features. Even though this is outdated, they haven't made a new one yet for their latest version. It still is very applicable for what we need it for. The only one difference is how to actually get started. So by the way, like I said, the data sets are right here. It's the same thing I've already linked to right here. So go ahead and open those up. If you're on a PC like I am, come here to compress folders. Go ahead and extract all. If you're on a Mac, it's called something else, and I've forgotten what it is now off the top of my head. Anyway, we want to unzip them, decompress them, so that you have now an Excel file and a CSV file. So for some people, this is kind of confusing. They both look like they open in Microsoft Excel, which they do. If I open this one up, .xlsx is a file type for Microsoft Excel. It's their default file type. And it is opening here. Going to look like a spreadsheet and all that. There we go, enable editing. So I always like to take a close look at the data before I get started on anything anyway. All right, here we go. So we've got an orders sheet and a people sheet. Think of these as tables. I can't remember what the video says. We may not even use the people one. I think we just want the orders one here. But who knows? We'll see it here in the next video. Anyway, order ID is the primary key of this table. Notice that that could be a primary key. We also have row ID here, which, if that's unique, could also be a potential primary key. I'm going to minimize that for now and take a look at Global Superstore Returns. This is a CSV file, which means comma-separated file. Now, it opens up here in Excel, which makes you think that it's an Excel file, but know that you can use Excel, Word, and a variety of different applications to open a variety of different types of files. That doesn't make it an Excel file. Comma-separated values really is nothing more than, let me show you. I'm going to open this with, oh, come on, give me an open with. I'm going to open Notepad. I'm going to go down here to Windows and to search for Notepad, which is the most generic little application right here that you can get. And in Notepad, I'm going to go to Open, so that just so you can see that I can open a CSV file in a variety of tools. Because it's such a simple file type, it has very little extra information in it. It can be opened with all types of editors. So I'm going to go to Download, Getting Started Datasets, and change text documents to all files, and go to Global Superstore Returns. And notice that here's what it looks like, the raw data in this file. It's literally a comma-separated file. So each value or column is separated by commas, then there is a line break. And then see this next column, which appears, whoops, didn't mean to do that, which appears right here in Excel, appears very similarly here in Notepad. But Excel just simply says, take a look at those commas. Let's interpret that comma as a new cell, and we'll move it over. So anyway, I just wanted you to see what a CSV file is. And now let's proceed by going to Tableau. All right, and in the video, she's going to walk you through opening up the files. I'm going to go ahead and go to Text File and find that unzipped Getting Started Dataset and the CSV. Open that one up, and then she's going to have you also open or add another connection to the Excel file. Now, she might do it in the opposite order. Doesn't really matter. So I'll come here to Excel, Superstore orders.xlsx, so it's the other file. So if you're wondering why you're only seeing one file here, it's because we're filtering by this file type. If I go to all files, shows me both of them. So there's my CSV. But now I want the .xlsx open. All right. So now I have these two connections to do two different files. Now in her video, the version of Tableau she's using is a little bit older, and so it just looks a bit different. This is the new version. And here you've got Global Superstore Returns. I'm going to grab, this is my text file. I'm going to go and click on this XLSX file and click and drag orders out here. And it says, okay, edit relationship. In other words, it believes that we must think that these two tables are related somehow, but it doesn't know how. Why doesn't it know how? Well, because we don't always use the same field names or column names to represent primary key, foreign key relationships. So, for example, Global Superstore Returns.csv has an order ID. That's the one we want to be the, it's a foreign key actually in this table. This is a table of orders that were returned. Over here in our orders table, we have a whole bunch of IDs. Scroll down until you see order ID. Great, plug that one in. And I'm going to close this now. And then it says performance options. What does this mean? Well, it says how are these two tables related? And you are now familiar with, in this book, a many-to-many, a one-to-many, a one-to-one relationship. So we're simply going to tell it that the returns data is going to be related, so a return is going to be related to one and only one field in orders, and an order is going to be related to one and only one return. Why is that important? Or why is that? It's because once an order is returned, it's not ordered again, at least in this data set. And so it's a one-to-one relationship. Now, however, remember what we learned. What type of join do we want? Do we want an inner join, left join, right join, outer join? Well, in the video, she's going to walk you through basically what is a left join. And she may not call it that. In other words, we want, well, actually, sorry, I got to change that. In this particular order, because I've got returns on my left, what we want is a right join. We want everything from orders and only those records from returns that match up with orders. If we were to do a left join, we would get all returns, and then we'd get no orders that haven't been returned. That's not what we want. For her video, she has all orders, and then those that have been returned, she gets the return data. So what we need to do here, I think, let's just test it out and see if this is going to work or not. Let's hit, let's close that out. And we have order ID from orders here. And what we want to find is order ID only for those that have been returned. So let's find order ID from returns. Oh, I have to click over here on this one. Yep, so in this case now I've got these that have been returned. All right, let's do, I think she's going to have you do an extract at some point. There we go. So let's here's a way we can check to see if we have all the data. So here on orders, let's see how many total rows we have. I'm going to go to sheet. Oh, it wants us to do a save now. No problem. I'm going to hit save. Move on. Sheet one. Okay, it's taking its time here loading. What I'm going to do is simply count up the number of orders that we have. So I'm going to use order ID from orders here, put it in columns. So it says, okay, the field could have 22,000 members, and the recommended maximum is 1,000. What do you want to do? So I'm going to say add all members for now. But now that we know we have 22,000 rows, for example, I can take order ID and put it in rows and change it from a dimension to a measure count. So now I can see, actually let me switch those. I think I just want that top one. Count, there we go. You know, just the one that's a count. I only need one of them. That tells me I've got 5,290 now. Is that right? Well, let's go over here and look back in our original files. Downloads. Let's go to getting started. And let's go back to our .xlsx file. And that's a pretty big one, 8 megs. There's a lot of records in there. Oh, I already had it open. Never mind. So come over here and let's just Control-Shift down. We can see, yep, sure enough, we got 51,290 records. Of course, I'm on 291. That's because I'm taking out the header. So all orders is almost 51,300. So that makes sense then. Let's see what I've got exactly here. 51,290. So good. I'm getting all orders. It didn't specify left or right join over here. It simply recognizes and connects those orders that match up with returns. It's not filtering anything out. But I imagine I could do some sort of left join, right join, that type of thing right here with the all records match and some records match. So for example, if I do all records match right here, then my guess is it's going to say give me all of the returns and only those orders that match up to it. Let's see if I'm right. Go back here to sheet 1. Oh, nope. Well, let me refresh. It's still giving me all of them. Refresh. Let's try it one more time here. Let's say all records match. And, oh, it just refreshed back here behind me. Let's see if this reduced it at all. Thinking, all right, there we go. Doing its new extract. Okay, and I still get my 51,290. So anyway, for now, just know that this is how we join those two tables together. It's not going to show me all of the records in one view like the older version of Tableau does. You can see there. Instead, it lets me click on each table to get the fields that are in that table, but it now knows how to match them up based on the primary key, foreign key relationship.